What you doing, man? What you doing? I signed up my first class action case today. So I'm moving up. I'm learning. I'm doing, I'm progressing. I gotta send out some more settlement demands today, and I need to read for a bit today. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna sit here and read all day. When you build your own business, you're meeting everyone at face value. Everyone that you meet, it's a hand-to-hand exchange. There has to be trust and respect and dignity and honor. It has to be things there in order for those types of transactions to take place on a routine level. And I know that may sound really crazy, a highfalutin idea, but it's amazing, man. I mean, like, being an entrepreneur, it's a thrilling prospect, but at the same time, it's kind of scary, because you do have to come out here and you have to work harder than you ever have had to work before, because everything's on you. There is no boss that you can point back to and say, hey, let me go get the boss from the back, and you can come and yell at him because somebody didn't do what they wanted you to do, or you want them to do. You're the person that they're gonna come to and say, hey, what do we do? I mean, this person everything is always your decision. So I think you have to get comfortable with that type of situation where you're always in the driver's seat. They're building new offices back here. So I wanted to come check it out because I'm thinking about getting an office back here. I'm moving out of my current office. It's not bad. I mean, they put 2 new conference rooms here in the back. I don't know if you can see all that. If you can see all that. They got like a little kitchen area over here. They renovated this space pretty quickly because this area used to be just one big office space, and they came back here and completely renovated it. But I'm definitely probably moving to another office in the next 3 months or so. I'm just trying to figure out which one I'm going to move into. Like, am I going to try to get one that has 2 offices to it, 2 rooms, or just one with a window? And the way that I'm tracking right now, I don't necessarily really need a big office because of the fact that I have a virtual receptionist, virtual legal assistant. Everything's virtual. But this year is about growth. And I think, like I said before, you come to a point where you may have been kind of taught a certain way by the past or other attorneys to manage a practice in a certain manner. But we're living in a different age now. We're living in an age where technology is changing everything, where it's making things readily available for those who are willing to go out there and grab them. And that's the thing that I'm starting to see now just all around me. Technology, automation, everything is just changing rapidly. And no one really knows where they're going to fit into society in a few years. Because the thing about the practice today that's different than maybe it was 20 years ago is that the technology allows you to leverage yourself to play with the big boys. Like, 20 years ago, you couldn't come out of law school, maybe 30 years ago, I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I'm not that old, but I'm going to guess 20, 30 years ago, you probably couldn't come out of law school and just say, hey, screw that, screw what they're talking about. I'm just going to start my own practice and make it happen. You couldn't do that without already having like a strong network of contacts and a base to pull clients from. That's what I think. Unless you had the money to be able to go out here when they first started doing television ads and really running it like that. But today's society, it's so much more fluid, and the technology has allowed people to be able to jump into pools that they may not have had access to in the past. That's why, you can kind of get upset about things that have happened in the past, but you can't really get upset because it's like, okay, yeah, you might have been denied in this, or okay, yeah, you might have been denied in that. But if you're looking at really what's happening out here in the world right now, the game is changing so much as far as, how to make yourself a player in it. I mean, for example, the Law Hawk, like the way that he markets is something that you would have never been able to do, 20 years ago. The way this young guy came out, and he's only been out for like 6 years, 5 years, and he hits you with those viral videos on YouTube, and the next thing you know, he's doing Super Bowl commercials for Taco Bell. It's like 6:30, so I'm about to head out. And I'm about to head to the house, have dinner with the wife and kids. But before I do that, let's sit down over here at this park bench real quick. I had this older guy come up over here who he always kind of like gives me hell about like the Boston Celtics, because he's a Rockets fan, and they just played the Celtics for the second time this season, I think, and they actually came back and won. barely won. But the funny thing about it was that, so he's an older guy, and we always kind of shoot the shit a bit and talk, about what's going on in the world. And he's like an older white guy or whatnot. He's real cool. And so he was like, yeah, man, I'm out here hustling. I'm hustling. And he said, I got plenty of money, but I like to hustle or whatever. I got to keep. It's always about the cash flow of what's happening today. Not what I have in the past. And so it was funny because we were talking about business and stuff like that, and he brought up a very interesting point, which was, he said, so do you want to be an attorney who handles everything, or are you trying to be an entrepreneur or businessman that employs other people to handle the cases for you? And I was like, man, it's the first time I've heard somebody else say that out loud besides me. And so basically I said, I'm trying to be both. Why not be both? Because there's some cases that you're going to be able to specialize in or focus on, and there's some cases that other people are going to be able to do, and you send those cases to them. Or that's my thoughts on the thing. So, it was just really interesting because you don't always meet people who think differently like that, or think of the law as a business, but it definitely is. And I noticed when I would meet a lot of older attorneys and you would try to convey that message to them or talk to them about the fact of law being a business, some of them would really standoffish about that. Like, law isn't a business, it's about justice, and it is those things. I mean, that's the courtroom, that's that end of it. But to a certain extent, when you look at the bigger firms out here, the ones that are advertising on TV and stuff, I mean, that's definitely business when you look at that. I mean, they are doing those things to market to clients. And, like I said, I thought it was a really interesting point, though. And it brought me back to other conversations that I had had with other attorneys prior, and how they would kind of just freeze up at the mention of someone looking at, law as a business. But I think that is the big avenue or path that people are taking these days, is because of technology and everything else. It's kind of freeing a lot of stuff up, and so that's how you're tending to view all of this, is that at the end of the day you have to make sure that it's a properly run business. I mean, of course, you're always trying to get the best. You're trying to give your client the best product, and the best product is basically whatever field that you're in, getting them the highest possible item that you can give them. So if it's family law, obviously you're trying to get them the kid. If it's criminal law, obviously you're trying to get the case dismissed. If it's personal injury, you're trying to maximize their compensation and whatnot. And so I don't know, I just thought it was a very interesting point. But like I say, I'm about to get out of here because I gotta head home. I got some more books to read. I gotta go read to the kids and do all that stuff and hang out with them for a bit. But I'll see you guys again tomorrow. And this ends vlog number 2.